sparkly.
I'm bubbly.
And together, we're Mineragua.
The fresh, sparkling water for those who are bubbling over with life.
And crave new experiences.
Are you thirsty for adventure, more laughs, and more excitement?
With Mineragua in hand, it's easy to live life with sparkle.
Just look for the glass bottles with tiny bubbles wrapped in blue.
And you'll taste and feel the difference of Mineragua sparkling water.
Mineragua, get your fizz.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2,908. Along with Steve the Throw Hill, the Ted Smith, Wobbin Fox, and Mike Montgomery. That's it. All right, the men's room. On tap today, the drug and charge Ryan Castle is into Sit and Spin now. Based on platinum albums, today, the 10 best-selling artists of all times. Oh, boy. What you don't need to know, the Breaking the Law edition. Get ready to play Profile Disc. Plus headlines, the men's room chat of the day, funable listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV Time with Ted. The clack. Drinking tea drunk. All right, here we go. Ohio mom of the year allows her 10-year-old son to get an unlicensed tattoo from a 16-year-old. Meanwhile, bowling alley owner performs the Greek cathedral split. By the way, that's hitting a 10, 8, 7, 6, 4, and 2. He did the whole thing. 16-year-old girl going to jail for 4 years for kissing 13-year-old boy. What Dunkin' Donuts employee did to a homeless man will not bring you joy. And military school fires their dean for vaping CBD oil to fight cancer. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. I'm going to share some headlines with you. See if you can find the one common theme. We begin in Alaska, where a guy shot and killed a bear. The bear happened to be on a ridge above him. The bear rolled down the hill, dislodged some rocks. The guy was hit by a rock and the body of the dead bear. He's now in serious condition, had to be airlifted to a hospital. Meanwhile, a guy in Colorado, as Miles just alluded to, he's the owner of a bowling alley. And on Sunday, he had the misfortune of getting caught inside of and crushed by the pin setting machine. This was not a good scene. He is what they call real dead. But getting crushed doesn't just happen to people. At the Alabama State Fair, it's now through October 7th, Ted, in case you're curious. At the Alabama State Fair, a goat at the petting zoo lay dead for 4 hours, face down in a bowl of food. After an investigation, it was revealed that a camel had fallen on and crushed the goat. True thing, you can't make this stuff up. We got a story about an elephant trampling a woman who just had to get the perfect picture. Another woman where they had to get a forklift off of her. Keep in mind, she wasn't driving the forklift. Look, man, sometimes things crush you, things land on you. It could be somebody dumps a bottle of water out of the second-story window, it lands on you. Maybe a bird pooped on you, or who knows, maybe you too need a rescue from a forklift. Today, we want to know what landed on you.
Be a part of the big show. Call 844-999-OLA. You can like The Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to themensroom@mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Hold the shows, and away we go. Welcome to show number 2,908. What a large and in charge program we have for you. We guarantee you this will be a future repeat. One day you'll be listening to this and going, Wonder where the men's room is right now. We'll probably be out of town someplace, enjoying ourselves, feet up, pina colada. This is a guaranteed future repeat as the Drug in Charge Ryan Castle is in. And once again, we will sit and spin. And this one is based on platinum albums, which is how they do the math in the counting world of who has sold the most in the music industry. We have the 10 best-selling artists of all time. That does not mean it's the best-selling album or it's sold more units. It means that basically these artists as a whole, their whole body of work, they've sold more than anyone else.
Okay.
So Guns N' Roses, we know, a big artist. They had one big album. That album was a multi-platinum album. They really only had about 3 albums. Therefore, Boston is the same way. It's not that they didn't sell a lot. They just only have 3 albums.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you look at the Rolling Stones have like 20. You look at the Beatles, they've got, 15 albums, 20 albums.
Sure.
So some of those bands do better than others, and it's based on sales. And sometimes it only takes 1 or 2 to actually pop it, like in the world of Adele.
Right.
Or, you have your Garth Brookses. You think about some of the people that you know for a fact. Hell, when Garth Brooks came to town, I want to say he did like 8 shows a day and sold out like 95,000 people a show. Like, whatever he did, I know I'm exaggerating, was absolutely ridiculous.
No, but it was. It was crazy.
I mean, he was like,
where's this arena?
He did like a Disney on Ice thing for your kids. Like, he did like 2 shows on Friday. It's like he was doing a comedy club with 2.5-hour sets of music. So, yeah, I would guess that he's been in there in the list of the 10 best-selling artists of all time coming up with Sit and Spin. What you don't need to know, we're going to give you 10 common ways that you can break the law. Or somewhere in there.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Nice.
And we will find out how many of these things that you have actually done and with it broke the law.
I'm assuming these are misdemeanors.
These are
not like murder,
no,
arson.
Of course not. Right. Those aren't the bigger questions. Okay. But some of these are, hey, look, if you've either done this or you have not. Either way, you're breaking the law.
Okay.
All right. So it depends on what you've done in your lifetime. What you don't need to know is on the way to the round of Profile This. And we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. And today our question, what landed on you? And man, oh man, it seems like it's an animal world. We will start what happened with a guy in Alaska. He was up in Alaska. The Army soldier suffered life-threatening injuries when a bear that he shot fell on him.
Right.
Think about that. William McCormick, it's unbelievable what happened to him. He was hunting with Zachary Tennyson near Moose Pass. Both are stationed on Joint Base. Good
luck with that.
Elmendorf Richardson.
Sure.
Elmendorf Richardson, KZND. Sorry if we butchered the hell out of that. That's okay, though. They shot a bear positioned above them on a ridge, and troopers explained the bear then began to roll down the ridge, dislodging rocks in the process. McCormick was injured when he was struck by both a rock and a bear. Now, keep in mind, when Steve and I did our hiking excursion with Hair Club, and we went up, there was a scramble at the top as well. There was a lot of exposed rocks.
In Alaska, yeah.
And that was one thing that actually did happen. We were kicking down a lot of pretty decent-sized rocks.
Everybody was.
So to understand, and you had to be paying attention. And to understand, I know exactly, I've seen the rocks come down.
I thought the same thing, man. The rocks don't even have to be very big. They're
the size of a bowling ball, but it's
unbelievable.
They would still knock you the hell out. They would take your head off. You know what I mean? And depending on how much speed they've gathered. So when the bear got shot, he dislodged some rocks. They started tumbling down the hill. The bear then began to roll down the ridge. And McCormick was injured when he was struck not only by the rocks in a bigger rock, the bear also crushed him as well as it was falling down the mountain. Unclear how far the bear was from the men when they shot it, and details about the bear itself were not available. Tennyson, his hunting companion, was uninjured. McCormick was carried to a helicopter, then airlifted to Providence, Alaska Medical Center in Anchorage. The bear killed, I guess they got the bear off the mountain as well. It does not say what happened there, but... they said they're not even sure what kind of bear it was, but if you're in Alaska, you can guess. That's pretty crazy.
I assume it's a grizzly bear.
I'm assuming it is. They just pointed out, we didn't have details on the bear.
Let's go with more.
It's probably a grizzly.
It's a giant bear.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
More ways dying as you look up and see animals above you. A tourist was trampled to death in Zimbabwe by an elephant she was trying to photograph. The 49-year-old German woman was at Maniples National Park, which is a popular game reserve, along with a group of other tourists when they came across a herd of the animals. She left the vehicle she was in to take the photo. The Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority spokesman, Tinashe Ferraro.
I'm sure you nailed that. I can feel it.
Wow, if you know anyone in the Ferraro family, I'm sorry. She told the AP that it's not clear what led to the attack on the woman, who has not been named. I wonder if she's ever had a Baconator.
Baconator?
Probably not.
Where is it?
This is Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe? No.
We are always asking people to stay away from wild animals. They should keep a safe distance. Elephant attacks are common in Zimbabwe, which has the world's second largest population of elephants. Last year, one trampled a tour guide in Victoria Falls. The elephant called, was shot and killed by rangers after the attack, which was described as out of the blue. So it has happened again. That's the second time that a tourist has been trampled by an elephant.
It's a wild animal. It's an elephant. Mm-hmm. You're creeping up on it. They're territorial.
Yeah, the stories keep getting worse. Our question, what landed on you? 844-999-OLA.
Yeah, and the elephant lady, it's like, right, like it's not.
Don't walk toward it.
Yeah.
That's all. It's out there with its family, and you're going to go walk toward it. Like that's what and the other thing is they have telephoto. That's the beauty of cameras, right? Like I said, National Geographic, look at that close-up of the puma. It's like, dude was 300 yards away, hiding somewhere. You use the lens,
right?
Man.
If you go on a safari, if you go to
let me get a close-up.
You're not taking your iPhone to take pictures. Like you've got a better rig than that.
That's
hopefully, that's your once-in-a-lifetime vacation.
That's a solid point, Mom.
Just use the telephoto. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So about that elephant lady, I blame her and the tourist just because they should have told everyone if an elephant charges you, what you're supposed to do is run and take off all your clothes. That's what they told me when I went to Africa because they will not stop charging you.
What does your clothes have to do with it?
Yeah, I was like, at this point,
is it a color thing?
Honestly, I have no idea. Maybe it's the smell. Maybe it's the color. I don't know. I was just told by natives of Tanzania to take off your clothes and like run, and apparently they'll run over to the clothes and trample them first.
Are they sure about that? You think they're just trying to pull it? Because that's something.
That sounds like a joke.
That's something I would tell my buddies. Oh, hey man,
if you want free coffee at Starbucks, just take off all your clothes.
Or you're going to Albania
on Wednesday, and they'll hook you up with a free drip.
I don't know a lot about Albania, but yeah, if you get naked and run down the street when the cops are chasing you, they want to arrest you.
They'll take you out to dinner.
Well, hopefully you never have to fight. But I would also assume they would tell you, like, hey man, maybe don't walk up to it.
Yeah, that was probably
that is number one.
Okay.
Anyways, my story for what landed on me, this was a couple months back. We just got this new black cat named Nightmare, and our house has like higher settings where they can jump up and just explore, be a little bit of freedom. And when I was laying on my bed, he was about 4 feet ahead of me, above me, and I didn't realize it. He jumped down, claws retracted, and landed on the middle of my skull and just dug all the way to the middle of my forehead. And I didn't go to the doctor or the hospital or anything. I just went to the kitchen, dumped a bottle of hydrogen peroxide in a bowl, and like dunked my head, called it good. But it scared me, and it was actually really painful.
Yeah, I bet it was, man. That's the thing about cats. Like, I didn't realize how bad they were, but years ago, I'm a young teen. Buddy of mine had a cat. Princess was the cat's name. Hated the name, wasn't my cat. He threw it at a buddy of his. Just like tossed, he said, think fast, right? Just threw it across the bed. This cat basically landed on this guy's face, and I did not know that's what was going to happen. Paul, the guy that threw the cat, I don't think he anticipated that, but this cat landed with all four paws out, man, claws on each one, lands on this guy's face, and then the cat kind of freaks out on the guy that he landed on. Instead of Paul, like the cat misses the point, but shredded this guy's face, took off running, and was gone for like 3 days.
Oh, you cannot believe how quickly the destruction happens with a cat. Yeah. It is over so fast, and you just sit there.
I believe it now because of your cat clawing you up.
Oh, my cat just bites, man. He was a biter and a clawer, so he would go with both. I mean, that was the thing with him, man. Like, he wouldn't just get you one, he'd get you 3 ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, but they shouldn't be trying to rip you. Your cat doesn't like you. I'm trying to convince you of this. Most cats play, and they do, they'll get your hand in their mouth just to let you know they could bite you, but the difference is they don't.
He doesn't have that gauge. It's all or nothing.
No, he doesn't like you.
There's no playing.
He has the gauge. He doesn't like you. You know what I mean? When I play wrestle my kids, it's not like I'm fighting off a mugger because I like my kids.
He was nice to you. He got on your chest.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't like you.
Oh, I see.
Your cat, from my perspective, is a sweet, sweet creature.
What landed on you? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How you guys doing today?
We're doing good, man. Much better than yesterday.
That's good.
Yeah. Had diarrhea all day and was throwing up. Hemorrhoid flare up.
We're good.
That's not even why the day was bad.
But thank you for asking.
No problem.
So my story is when I was, about 2 years old, my dad's father passed away. And so we went out into the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Florida to spread his ashes into the ocean. And as my dad was holding me to throw his ashes into the water, this damn seagull pooped on my head.
All right.
I'm convinced the birds do it on purpose.
Well, that had to lighten the mood a little bit.
I think it did.
Yeah, it's a heavy time. You know what I mean? You're trying to do the right thing, and all of a sudden it's something to lighten the mood a little.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's life looking out for you. We know you're having a bad day, but Brian, if this animal takes a dump on your kid, everything's going to be better.
I'm pretty sure this is a real video, and we've talked about this thing before, but if you get a chance, check it out. These kids, these crazy kids, they went to the beach. And
it's a real video.
And they got all kinds of food, and they just packed the food with X-Lax. French fries, hamburgers, anything, whatever they had on them, they just decided to fill it up with X-Lax.
And let's just say the bird's metabolism is much faster than a human.
And sit it out for the birds, and all these seagulls, like they do, they came up and they just mouthed all this stuff. And I don't know how much time goes by, man, but the video is just people walking along just absolutely getting crapped on.
Yeah.
Getting crapped on.
But it is like a white rain falling from the sky. People are screaming.
I feel like that's unbelievable. Even without that, though, I feel like getting pooped on by a seagull is like part of going to the boardwalk at the beach.
It is. It's a reasonable thing.
They eat everything.
Didn't you say that your dad got fries?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Right.
So there's this famous place in Ocean City, Maryland called Thrasher's,
right?
And Ocean City is one of those beaches on the East Coast where if you're in proximity of New Jersey, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, you know Ocean City. There's only a few options. You got Virginia Beach in Virginia. Some people go to the Outer Banks, but people know Ocean City and they know Thrasher's French fries. They're one of those institutions.
They're famous, and it can be 100 degrees and 100% humidity. People stand in line and wait
these
for these
hot-ass fries.
French fries.
And they're hand-cut fries, and if you've been to a Five Guys, think of it something like that, where they give you a bucket of fries.
Right. There's no, you just put vinegar or salt in salt.
And there's no place else that has fries, in my mind, that are that good, or maybe whatever it is. It's kind of like whatever your favorite burger place is. If it's In-N-Out or whatever, when you get there, you're like, all right. Thrasher's fries is like that because there's not very many of them.
Right. And people in my family care about food. So my dad's super pumped. I mean, like, this is the highlight of part of his trip, right? Is getting these damn French fries. But he gets them, and it's like, and the other thing too is like, there's different sizes, or there's just a bucket. The Smiths always get the giant bucket. So of course he has the giant bucket, and like, as soon as he turns away from the stand, the seagull poops on him and all over the fries. Which, of course, infuriates him.
Right. Because you got to wait. You just don't walk up and get a bucket of fries.
Right.
You put in the order. You stand around. There's a number. You see everybody get called. You're looking at their fries. They look so good. You're waiting, and you see your big bucket, and you're like, yeah. You know, like, because it's like 5-10 minutes where you get them, because it's a big-ass bucket of fries, man. So they got to make them, right?
Yeah. And it's like,
they're hot.
I don't know how to explain it, but like, I've had a bird poop on me when I live in Seattle.
Okay.
It was cool out. It didn't bug me as much. When a bird poops on you and it's warm and hot out, and it's destroyed your fries,
and you're not going to eat.
Then you know what some smart ass around you's going to say.
Did he lose it?
It's supposed to be good luck.
Did people laugh? Did people see it? Did he lose it? Whatever.
Yes, he lost it, and yes, people laughed.
No! What did he say? Like, do you remember what he said?
I don't know, just cursing. A lot of cursing and throwing up a bucket.
Did they give him? He threw the bucket.
I mean, this is the same boardwalk that my father once angrily ripped off a fanny pack and like handed it to my mom and said, "You take them to dinner."
Oh no!
You can't really make a statement by ripping off.
My dad was due for every week at the beach having one explosion.
Okay.
Right. That year it happened to be the French fries.
And did they give him a new fry?
You know, I can't remember. It was traumatic. Well, on the other end of that, when I was in Disney World and the Animal Kingdom,
all right,
I was reaching across, I think, to get like a Sprite or something from the lady, and a bird pooped on my arm. But it's Disney. They're like, "We are so sorry about that. Can we get you a new Sprite?" Like, yeah, all right.
Gosh, understand one of a bird's defecated on your forearm. Right. We'd love to get you to replace that with a lemon and lavender confection.
What landed on you? 844-999-OLA.
Gosh, sorry about that. By the way, we had a guy that called and said, Mal, as you were telling the story, the woman she's on safari in Africa, gets out of the vehicle to get a close-up of an elephant. The elephant acted like an elephant and stomped her ass, right? So a guy calls in and says, "Hey, man, when I was in Tanzania, I was told that if an elephant chases you or charges you, obviously you want to run, but he said to strip off his clothes. This is what he said they told him in Tanzania. We were a little suspicious about this, and someone does say, I'm from Tanzania. The clothes thing is a tourist prank.
The guy was so confident about it.
I know, it's like, man, are you sure?
We sniffed that out pretty fast.
It sounded bad. Run
why
as
would
fast
you
as
get
can
naked?
So it's like, okay, I need to know why you got to be naked.
Right, but he didn't think to ask why you want to be. Like, come on, man.
And Tanzania, add something to the joke. Like,
Here's what
he needs to see your trunk.
Right, exactly. And helicopter it.
Right. Hello.
But I'm a grower.
Hello, Richmond. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
How you guys doing?
Doing great. Much better than yesterday.
Outstanding. A couple of years ago, my wife and I were just outside of Astoria, Oregon, at a KOA campsite, and we rented a cabin, and the closest porta potty was like a couple hundred yards away, and I really had to go to the bathroom. So I'm out there relieving myself, and I kept on hearing something flying around my head. Couldn't figure out what it was, and then all of a sudden, I felt something latch on to my boys.
Your boys?
My testicles.
No, we understand that.
But
we get that part.
Where did that come from?
Right.
But yeah, it was a bat landed on my testicles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds like something out of the Goonies. Sounds like something out of the Goonies.
Oh, man. What do you do when a bat lands on your testicles?
Oh, I was going number one, but I almost went number two when it happened.
So that's where he decided to latch on?
Yeah, like I said, it was it was dark outside. I heard something flying around my head.
I'm bad.
Figure out what it was, and then next thing I know, just latched on.
No, wait. Did it latch on with what? Its teeth?
Like, I guess it's the little
hand things at the end of the wing?
Did it think it was another bat hanging there? What did it think?
Yeah, like a sleeping bat hanging upside down.
That's what I'm saying, like just swinging, hanging out.
Are you a hairy guy?
No, my chest, I'm hairy, but I mean down there, not really.
All right, I always heard bats like hair.
Really?
Well, that's why they fly. I guess maybe that's it. I don't know.
That's what I always heard. That's what they dive bombs.
So what did you do? Did you shoo it off, or did you look down and go, "There's a bat on my testicle"? I think that's you're the only person maybe on the planet that's had a bat attached to its testicles. I would think that's a safe bet.
I'm going to say you're like one of 3 how
Really?
Yes.
How situational
I'm picturing, dude, no, because I'm picturing someplace like the Brazilian rainforest, right? Where someone's out there doing their business, and God only knows what they're up to, right? Because there's all this tribal stuff. But I'm sure when you walk around naked most of the time, and you live in a jungle, that's why I'm saying you're one of 3 people.
Somewhere in Tanzania, there's a tourist that had a bat on his penis.
You know why? Because he got naked when he's wrong. So I'm just wondering, do you have abnormal-looking testicles? Because you got to think, right? The bat is just using echolocation, and something about your satchel looked appealing. Like, does it look like a pear?
They're normal. I mean, like I said, I never meant to be part of an exclusive club of 3 people in the world, but yeah, it landed on there.
Did you shoo it off?
It landed on there, and I just kind of brushed it off with my hand as I was freaking out.
See, that's how Batman should have came to be. The hell with your parents getting shot in an alley. You know what I mean? I'm just out using the bathroom and all that.
Radioactive bat gripped my testicles.
Now I'm Batman.
I made money when he bit me.
How did he turn into Batman? That's a funny story. What landed on you? 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
A goat that reportedly lay dead in a bowl of food for hours at the Alabama State Fair appears to have died from an accidental injury by a camel. Not neglect or abuse. This was a pretty dramatic story for a number of people who happened to stumble upon this. An investigation was launched by the police department over the weekend after a fairgoer noticed a small black goat was unresponsive and appeared to remain that way for hours at the event's petting zoo.
Yeah.
A woman named Peyton Hill posted her observations and a video on Facebook. She said her group stopped briefly at the petting zoo when they first arrived at the fair. At that point, she said the fair had been going on for about 8 hours or so, and the animals did appear to be exhausted and without water. They were dirty, covered in feces. I didn't see any water. Then they spotted a black goat laying with his head in the food bowl and not moving. I figured maybe he was exhausted from the weekend of constant interaction and moved on. She said then they returned to the petting zoo about 4 hours later, immediately noticed the same black goat had not moved. It was then that they feared the goat might have passed, and her boyfriend reached into the pen, touched the goat. Quote, Carter, the boyfriend, touched the goat, lifted his head a little to find that he was limp. At one point, Hill said another animal was eating out of the food bowl while the goat was laying in it.
Damn.
Later, she said a miniature donkey stepped on the goat, and it still didn't move.
This goat was just not popular with anyone.
I was so upset, she said. Hill said they approached the person who appeared to be in charge of the petting zoo and told him the goat was dead. She said he then picked up the goat's neck, shook it, and dropped it back down into the food bowl.
Jesus.
While children and families looked on. I started crying and left. Hill and her boyfriend reported the incident to the police officer who was standing outside the fair, and Hill said she posted the video and her statements because she found it disturbing and feared the animals were not being properly taken care of. So, of course, the police do investigate what happens, and during the course of the 3-day investigation, Police Chief Larry Palmer, not to be confused with his brother Harry, said police determined the goat died as a result of an injury caused by another animal in the petting zoo. A camel had fallen on the goat.
Oh.
Our question, what landed on you? 844-999-OLA.
We got a call from a guy a little bit earlier, and Miles, we determined he's probably one of 3 people on this earth who's had a bat land on his naked testicles.
I say he's the only man on earth. You said one of 3.
I said I'm going to say one of 3, and I'm like, man, why would a bat be attracted to your testicles? And I'm thinking echolocation. So someone says, hey man, bats go for the smell, not the looks. So it makes me wonder.
I should date bats.
What do your testicles smell like that a bat wants to land on?
Feta cheese and bleach.
But he was also urinating, so it was just the smell of the urine that attracted that bat.
I don't know, man. I'm saying it's his bees.
You're in trouble if you do that out in the night, then.
Yeah. Hello, Carol. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello?
Hola.
Hola. Okay, my story's kind of gross, so I don't know.
It's okay. So you know who you're talking to, right?
What's that?
I said you do know who you're talking to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're A-okay.
We can handle it. We think, anyway.
Okay, so when I was probably 10 or 11, and I lived on a farm, and my dad had a heifer, and she calved out, but she got mastitis.
What's mastitis?
It's an infection in their teeth.
Ooh.
Huh. And this
is really bad for them because the milk coagulates and you got to milk it out.
Ah.
Oh, it's really bad.
People volunteer to do this for a living.
No, well, I don't know. It doesn't happen very often. So my dad decided that he wanted to catch this heifer up and have me milk her. Well, so he catches her out and ties her up. She's not a very friendly one, to be honest.
Well, she has an affected teat. I mean, I got being a little irritable.
I mean, like, don't you just want to take your bra off sometimes immediately when you get home? I mean, think of how the cow felt.
Absolutely.
She has one giant boob with 4 to 6 nipples hanging there. Well, coagulated milk in them. I understand her being moody.
So anyhow, I had to milk it. Well, she hadn't lost her afterbirth.
Oh, no.
And she was really, it was hurting her really bad, so she was flinging her tail around, and it wrapped around my neck.
Her tail did?
Yeah, the afterbirth, along with her tail.
Oh.
You know what?
You know
what? I love your scarf.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did you get it?
It was so gross.
Yeah, it is gross. Here's the question. Do you think more people have been lassoed by a cow tail only to have abs put on their neck, or a bat landing on someone's testicles?
It's a 1 in a million show. No one else has had a bat dangle for their testicles.
I'm telling you, at least 2 other people have.
No one else
this
is born
year.
I bet there's more afterbirth strangulation.
No one's worn
than bats and
no
testicles.
One's worn a placenta scarf.
She has.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired a Shakespearean actor.
Oh, woe is me. Wherefore art thy claims help when I hadst a fender bender?
Pardon the interruption, but when you file a claim with Geico, your claims team will be in touch right away.
But willest they forget about me later when thou needest updates?
No. They'll always be there to, helpeth you out.
Well, I suppose that I should bemoan something else, like my lactose intolerance. Oh, whyest must dairy disagree with me so savagely?
Geico. Great service without all the drama.